Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all. Today we will start a new chapter of English Reader. The chapter name is Fire, Friend and Foe. Foe means enemy. In the previous class we read the chapter The Invention of Beta Onk, but the chapter is out of syllabus, means that it will not come in your annual examination. So no need to write question answer. You have to read only the chapter. So here the chapter Fire, Friend and Foe. Foe means enemy, we know that. Fire is useful and fire is destructive both for us. If we will use properly, it will be friend, and if we will use fire not in a proper way, it will be our enemy. Come on the chapter. Early man did not know what fire was, but he must have seen the damage it could cause. He must have watched lightning and volcanoes before he began to use fire himself. Fire was powerful and dangerous, and he was frightened. In the first paragraph, we get that early man did not know what fire was, but he must have seen the damage it could caused, that was caused by fire. He must have watched lightnings. Lightning means electric charge, or they have seen volcanoes. Understand? Long before he began to use the fire himself. So early people have seen volcanoes and lightning. Conical hills which emit fire and lava. You know that volcano. Fire was powerful and dangerous, and he was frightened. So early man was frightened, afraid of from fire. Fire may have puzzled early man, but we now know that fire is the result of a chemical reaction. When the oxygen in the air combines with carbon and hydrogen in a fuel, a chemical reaction takes place. Energy in the form of heat and light is released in this process, and this is what we call fire. So fire may have puzzled, perplexed early man, but now we know that fire is the result of a chemical reaction, response of chemical reaction. When oxygen in the air combines oxygen, air and carbon dioxide, oxygen in the air combines with carbon and hydrogen in a fuel. These three things are needed: carbon dioxide, hydrogen and air. Afterward, a chemical reaction takes place, and energy in the form of heat and light is released. Light is released means let out, and this process we call it fire. Understand? Now three things are needed to make fire. Dear student, you know that: fuel, oxygen and heat. These three things are needed for a fire: fuel, oxygen and heat. Wood, coal, cooking gas and petrol are some examples of fuel. First example we are getting here of fuel is wood, coal, cooking gas and petrol. Oxygen comes from where? The air. That is why when you blow on a smoldering paper, it often bursts into flame, and this is the reason when you blow on a smoldering paper. Smoldering means burning slowly without a flame. When anything is burning, smoldering paper, when you blow on a smoldering paper, the paper which is burning slowly without flame, it often bursts into flame. And the third thing needed to make fire is that heat. First thing is fuel, second thing is oxygen, and third is heat. Fuel and oxygen don't make fire by themselves, or else a newspaper or a stick lying in the open would catch fire on its own. So these three things are needed to make a fire. To burn a piece of paper or wood, we heat it before it catches a fire. Understand? So heat is also needed. We generally do it with a lighted match, and we take the help of lighted match for fire, for getting fire. Every fuel has a particular temperature at which it begins to burn, and this temperature is called flash point or kindling temperature of the fuel. So you know that we get fire. Every fuel has a particular temperature. On that temperature it begins to burn, and this temperature is known as what? Flash point, which we say flash point or kindling temperature of the fuel. Understand? It is needed to catch fire, and this is known as kindling temperature. It is sometimes said that fire is a good servant but a bad master. It only means that fire is very useful as long as it is kept under control. If fire is in control, it will be what? Our servant. It is a good servant, but a bad master if it will be out of control. For instance, for example, we use it to cook our food, warm our homes in winter, and to generate electricity. By this way we use fire properly as a servant. But on the other hand, if fire gets out of control, it can be dangerous. When fire will be out of control, it will be dangerous. Each year thousands of homes and shops are damaged by fire, you know that. So vast areas of forest are also destroyed, and hundreds of people are killed and injured when fire will be out of control. Vast areas of forest are also destroyed because of fire. You know that. You get fire in the forest area, and that will create a great destruction, and hundreds of people are also killed or injured. Just as three things are needed to start a fire, there are three main ways in which a fire can be put out. So just as three things are needed to start a fire, and three main ways are needed to extinguish, to put out a fire. In each one of three things needed for burning is taken away. So we know that three things we are getting: fuel, oxygen and heat. If we will take one thing from them, fire will be extinguished. Extinguished means put off. For example, we can take away the fuel. If the fire has no fuel to feed on, no burning can take place. Understand? And no fuel to feed on, no burning can take place. We often let a fire die out simply by not adding more fuel to it. If you will not add more fuel, the fire will not burn. The second way of putting out a fire is to prevent oxygen. The second thing is that to prevent fire, to prevent oxygen from reaching it, putting out a fire. No supply of oxygen means no fire. Second thing is to extinguish, to putting out a fire, prevent oxygen supply. No supply of oxygen means no fire. Small fires can be put out or smothered with a damp blanket or a sack. Suppose that if you are getting small fires, and small fires can be put out, extinguished or smothered. Smothered means suffocated from lack of air. We will check the supply of oxygen, supply of air with a damp, wet blanket or a sack. Afterward, we can control over the small fire. Sometimes carbon dioxide is used to extinguish. Carbon dioxide is also used to extinguish, putting out a fire. It does not allow oxygen to reach the burning material. And what? You know that it does not allow, carbon dioxide does not allow oxygen to reach the burning material. The third way of putting out a fire is to remove the heat. Third thing is that we remove the heat. There will be no heat, there will be no fire. We know that three things are needed to get fire: fuel, oxygen and heat. So here what we will do, putting out a fire, is to remove the heat. If the temperature can be brought down below the flash point, the fuel stops burning. And you blow on a burning matchstick. When you blow on a burning matchstick or a candle to put it out, in doing so you remove the hot air around the flame, bringing down its temperature below the flash point. So we know that how to put out a fire. We remove the heat, and for example, if the temperature can be brought down below the flash point, the fuel stops burning. We blow on a burning matchstick or a candle. When the matchstick or candle will be burned, on that time what we will do, bringing down its temperature below the flash point, we will remove the hot air around it by blowing what? You remove the hot air. Sometimes water is sprayed. We also use water. It is sprayed on a fire. It absorbs heat from the burning fuel and lowers the temperature. So water is also used to put out the fire. The blanket of water also cuts off the supply of oxygen. So the supply of oxygen will be cuts off, and fire will be extinguished, put off. Understand? So here we get that these are the things that are needed to putting out a fire. As we know that three things are needed to start a fire, and here the three things are what? Fuel, oxygen and heat. And here we get that three things are also needed to putting out a fire. Understand? From them we will put out these three things, and we can get that fire will be putting out of. Some fires can't be put out with water. Some fires are so strong that we can't put out with the help of water. If water is sprayed on to an oil fire, suppose that on an oil fire, the oil will float to the top of the water and continue to burn when we will use water on, when there is a fire on oil. This can be very dangerous because water can flow quickly, carrying the burning oil with it and spreading the fire everywhere. Water should also not be used on fires caused by electric appliances. Where we get the electric appliances, we don't use a fire on that place. Understand? The person spraying water might receive an electric shock and be killed. So we don't use water on electric appliances or where the fire will be in the water. And what will happen? The person spraying water might receive an electric shock and be killed. A carbon dioxide extinguisher is the best thing to fight an electric fire. For electrical fire we use a carbon dioxide extinguisher. We spend millions of rupees each year in fighting fires, and we spend more trying to find new ways of preventing fires from happening and getting out of control. We use many things. We spend a lot of money. On the whole, we have learned rather well to control fire and put it to good use in our everyday life. Long ago, there were no firemen. When fire broke out, we get that everybody became a firefighter. In the earlier time, everyone was the firefighter. When there was no fireman, there were no firemen. People formed human chains, they still do if required, and passed buckets of water from a well or a pond to the blaze, to the fire. Blaze means fire. Now there are laws about, there are laws, and what are the laws here? Niyam, which we say about building construction, which ensure that space is left. There will be space is left between buildings to reduce the fire risk. So we know that between buildings space will be left, and every new buildings, especially a public place, must ensure observance of fire prevention norms, and prevention norms rules will be, the rules are made for preventing fires. Understand? Bands of fire fighting workers with special equipment known as a fire brigade are there to put out fires. So we know that bands of group of men, firemen, we know that work here in firefighting workers with special equipment. They use special equipment. Fire brigades, which we say fire brigade, are they put out fires, the destructive fires. Firefighters are highly trained people, and they are highly trained people, very highly trained people, and they have many skills, they have a lot of skills to handle, to cope up with fire. They cut off electricity supply, knock down dangerous wall. They cut off electricity supply, they know the idea. Knock down dangerous wall, they have the idea to knock down dangerous wall. They can walk on the dangerous wall, they can reach there. Spray water and other materials they can use to bring fire under control. Understand? They are also trained in first aid so that they can help people suffering from burns or from the effects of smoke. They also use what? First aid, so that they can help people suffering from burns or from the effects of smoke. The discovery of fire and its uses helped early man to cope with nature better and gradually adopt a settled mode of life. So the discovery of fire and its uses helped early man to cope. To cope means to deal with nature. They live in the nature better and gradually, slowly adopt a settled mode of life, and they adopted a settled mode of life. Fire is still worshipped in many parts of the world. In many parts of the world, fire is worshipped, and fire is indeed a friend, but as we know, it can be a dangerous enemy once it gets out of control. So you know that if we use fire intelligently, properly, so fire will be our what? Friend, and if we use it in a destructive way, not in proper way, it will be our enemy. Understand? So I hope that you have understood all this. Thanks for watching the video.